Before going to Trinidad and Tobago, there are several things you need to know before taking on a big leadership role. You have to understand conflict resolution. You must understand their culture. You have to understand the way they do business, how they approach others in the workplace. You must know their business ethics. And most importantly, you must understand the way they communicate with one another. The country of Trinidad was named by Christopher Columbus on his third voyage to the New World in 1498. The country's name came from Christopher Columbus because when he arrived on scene, it appeared to him as a trinity of hills along the southeastern coast. The island was called Lear, meaning the land of the hummingbird, by its native Amerindian inhabitants. Many say that the second portion of the country's name, Tobago, came from the Spanish word of tobacco. Trinidad was a forgotten colony for 300 years. There were many Native Americans that died upon contact with tons of European diseases. They also were forced to the mainland to work in mines, and those who survived were subject to Spanish missions and labor schemes. A lot of Trinidadians feel very blessed to have the connections that they have with the United States of America. Their main focus is to increase investment, of course, and trade. They really want to make sure that they have stable supplies of energy. The U.S. Embassy was also established in Port of Spain, Trinidad in 1962. The U.S. provides new and improved technology assistance to the Trinidadian government. Trinidadians were also able to take advantage of gains in education and fill lower level state jobs for their locals. The government nationalized many industries, including sugar, which employed mainly Indians. A downturn in oil affected many businesses and locals. White, Chinese, Syrians, and some Indo-Trinidadian entrepreneurs control most of the economy. The way Trinidadians communicate is very different from how we communicate here in the United States. So, Trinidadians are very direct. They're very straight to the point, and they're not scared to tell you how they really feel, especially within the workplace. They're known for making jokes about things that are factual without trying to offend you. And the amazing people of this country, they're very friendly. They're very welcoming to Americans. They don't stand very close to one another when they're talking, especially in a formal business setting. It's important to know that many Trinidadians take business very seriously. For the sake of their family, they have to provide for them, and it's sometimes very hard to find a job, especially for youths. They struggle to find work right after they get out of school. They value personal eye contact. A lot of Trinidadians find it very disrespectful if you do not give them that eye contact, and vice versa during business meetings. Men and women of this country dress professional. Women wear skirts past their knees, and they don't show much skin in the workplace. And most men wear shirts, ties, and business suits. There's some similarities and some differences in how Trinidadians and Americans conduct their businesses. So, meeting etiquette, Trinidadians, they're typically anglicized and they're cosmopolitan. So, they take everything that they say and kind of transform it into an English form. Most people of Trinidad and Tobago, they prefer to have some space while communicating during meetings. So the difference between that and Americans is a lot of Americans, they approach you, they smile, they, may hug you and whatnot. However, in Trinidad, they prefer at least an arm's length when you are speaking to them. They like their space, so it's important not to be very close to their face while speaking. But again, remember to have that eye contact. And they prefer punctuality during meetings and business relationships. Some of the must-knows in the country of Trinidad and Tobago include informal meetings. Most men shake hands. Outside of the workplace, most men simply nod their heads for a simple greeting. Women tend to greet each other by simply saying hello. Some may exchange hugs or give a quick peck on the cheek. Men and women greet each other verbally by saying hello. Some Trinidadians may find it very disrespectful to touch one another, so it's very important that you keep your space. And in the book from our class, The Leadership Experience by Daft, on page 341, it talks a lot about global diversity. One of the most rapidly increasing sources of diversity is globalization, which means that leaders are confronting diversity issues across a broader stage than ever before. For leaders interacting with people from other cultures, even something as seemingly simple as a handshake can be confusing. If the proper way to shake hands can vary so widely, no wonder managers have trouble knowing how to act when doing business with people from other countries. Leaders can get a handle on the challenges of global diversity by understanding the social cultural environment and by developing a higher cultural intelligence. Daft also mentions uncertainty avoidance, which means that members of a society feel uncomfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity, and thus support beliefs and behaviors that promise certainty and conformity. Low uncertainty avoidance means that people have a high tolerance for the unstructured, the unclear, and the unpredictable. High uncertainty avoidance cultures include Greece, Portugal, Uruguay, Singapore, and Jamaica, are two countries with low uncertainty avoidance values. In our course readings, Daft also mentions becoming an exclusive leader. One goal for today's global organizations is to ensure that all people, women, ethnic minorities, younger people, gays and lesbians, the disabled, older people, racial minorities, as well as white males, are given equal opportunities and treated with fairness. Trinidadians' food culture is very similar to West Indians, Creole, French, and Spanish ingredients. They cook with a lot of fresh food, a lot of fresh vegetables and fruit, and a lot of spices. So if you don't like spicy foods, Trinidadian food may not be for you. However, there are some other alternatives if you cannot take the spice. However, there isn't very many. Curry is very, very popular and is made almost daily by families and brought to their place of work and school. This includes curried goat, chicken, fish, and other sources of protein. Oxtail is also very popular in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. Roti is very delicious. It's almost similar to a bread, and Indians actually make roti a lot. The dish with the chicken roti includes coconut milk, rice, and pigeon peas. It's known for palau, and it's very popular. They also have something called doubles. Doubles is a term for two pieces of roti with chickpeas and curried sauce. And it's also a vegetarian option if you do not eat. Trinidad has a huge festival every year that is famously known for Carnival. It's a celebration that's held annually on Monday and Tuesday in the month of February. It happens 2 days before Lent, known as Ash Wednesday, where people dress in bright colors and get very festive. Trinidad and Tobago is primarily a Christian country and started this tradition when the slaves were set free. This carnival has attracted millions of celebrities and thousands of Americans. They serve food and other typical Trinidadian dishes, such as curry and palau and doubles. There is a lot of dancing and Trinidadian music, known as calypso music, for steel bands where they play the steel drums, which are made up of oil drums. These are the drums that they transport oil in because there is tons of oil in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. The costumes that they wear at the carnival are all handmade. There are many different groups of people who dress up in different themed costumes at this carnival. Some bands may dress up as sailors, other bands may dress up as Hawaiians, some may dress up in army wear and walk around like soldiers. There are several bands that dress up like Indians, so there are a ton of different themes depending on the music bands at the festival. All people of the variety of different bands have one theme. My father, who is from Trinidad, Port of Spain, used to dress up as an African hunter while attending Carnival with his brothers and sisters. Him and his family attended Carnival every single year, and he has also mentioned how it was the best time of his life. He then moved to America and became a doctor. He did mention that the education and employment is 1,000 times better in America than it is in Trinidad. There are more jobs, schools, and opportunities in the United States. This country has a lot of oil, as mentioned before. They are known for making tons of vehicles. However, these vehicles are primarily made for the country of Trinidad and Tobago. It's important to know that they do drive on the opposite sides of the road, and their steering wheels are located on the opposite side of the vehicle, as where in America, most steering wheels are located on the left side. Last but not least, it is very important to understand different cultures while residing there. In order to be a successful leader in a different country, you must learn their culture and their business ethics while implementing your own business ethics and culture that you have in the United States. Every country is different. So, if there is something that seems out of the norm, you must first seek to understand. It is very beneficial to make friends while you are in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. Having someone that you could possibly relate to would really help you make many business and other interpersonal relationships. This is crucial. And in order to understand the cultural differences, this is crucial. And in order to understand the cultural differences between Trinidad and Tobago,